Hi guys, my name is Paz Curiel. I will be doing video activity number 3 for Psychology 1A. For video activity number 3, I chose Chapter 13, Personality. My first concept is the 5 psychosexual stages of personality development. Second concept, Bandura's reciprocal determinism. Third concept, 5-factor models of personality. In concept 1 of 5 psychosexual stages of personality development, I will be talking about oral stage, anal stage, phallic stage, latency stage, and genitals. Here's an example of oral stage, which begins at birth through 1 year old, when a child is developing pleasure in oral activities such as sucking and tasting and putting things in their mouth. The anal stage begins from 2 to 3 when the child begins to potty train. Here I have Mia buying her own diapers, excited for the journey. Phallic stage begins from 3 to 6 years old, when boys are more attached to the mother while girls are more attached to the father. Here I have an example of a father and a daughter bonding time. You can see how the daughter loves to be with her dad. Here I have an example of latency stage, 6 years old to puberty, when a child likes to spend more time with the same sex peers, doing makeup, girl stuff, and talking about boys.
School, but I don't really have a crush on him anymore because now I'm getting older and I'm like now I feel weird that I have a crush, and then sometimes it just feels weird. So yeah.
The last stage is genital stage, which begins before and after puberty. That's when individuals start to realize their attraction for the opposite sex. In the last clip, we asked if she had a crush or if she knew what it was, and she acknowledged she did. Feelings that she didn't feel before for a certain individual, she has now. She was confused at what she felt and why she felt it, and why it was different from what she felt before. When realizing you have your first crush, it's a very exciting time in your life because we don't really always understand why we feel these certain feelings and when we do. Feelings for a crush can be confusing because they're new to us and we don't really know how to act on them. They can be mixed feelings, but when you see your crush, you might feel a little embarrassed, you might want to run away and hide, or even other parts may be telling you that your crush is sharing the same feelings as you. Concept number 2, Bandura's reciprocal determination. I will be breaking it down to reciprocal interaction of a person, such as cognitive factors known as personal factors, which are knowledge, expectations, physical characteristics, beliefs, and attitudes. Secondly is environmental factors, which are physical surroundings, family, friends, and social influences. Lastly, I will touch bases on behavior, known as skills, practice, and self-efficacy. What got you interested in working out?
I was very physical growing up, so I think that sort of led to me still pursuing anything like in fitness wise and health wise. I did soccer, then I did cheerleading, and I did more soccer as well going to high school. And once soccer had finished for me, and then I did college, I sort of then shifted into working out in the gym, which was totally different for me, but I ended up loving it, and I still do that till now.
How many times do you go to the gym a week?
I try to go around 5 to 6 times a week, sorry.
How do you feel the gym has affected your behavior?
Well, I've always been into the gym, so I can't say I've had such dramatic change, but I do see that the gym does release a lot of stress, which does make you feel happier in general, not just at the gym, but also with other people and in the work environment as well.
Concept number 3, 5-factor models of personality. Number 1, neuralism. According to the American Psychological Association, neuralism is another word for emotional stability, which is frequently experiencing negative emotions such as sadness, anger, and being very sensitive. Number 2, agreeableness is a tendency to act in a cooperative and unselfish manner. Third, extroversion is an operation of one's interests and energies towards the outer world. 4, conscientiousness is a tendency to be organized, responsible, and hardworking. 5, openness is a tendency to be open in cultural or intellectual experiences. So now I will be ending my video with showing a clip of a more detailed explanation on the 5-factor models of personality. Here they are.
To experience. Now, most of these traits are actually pretty self-explanatory. The openness to experience trait describes people who are curious about the world around them, and they feel comfortable trying out new things. These people tend to enjoy creative activities and are more inclined to exploring different areas of life or alternative ideas. People who score low on this scale usually don't break out of their comfort zone very often. Different activities, routines, or ideas may make them feel uncomfortable. The number 2 is conscientiousness, and I know it's a big word, but people who are more conscientious tend to pay more attention to detail, and they put more effort into organizing their everyday activities. On the extreme end, you might call some people OCD. These people are more likely to plan out every detail of a vacation itinerary or reread their work a handful of times before they turn it in. Now, on the other hand, people who score low in terms of conscientiousness are usually more likely to let things happen without planning or organizing. In fact, on the extreme end of not being conscientious, some psychologists call this impulsiveness. Now, this is a good time to reiterate that a high score on all of these traits does not make you a better or a worse person. Depending on your values and the culture that you're raised in, you may view conscientiousness as a positive or a negative trait. In fact, like I said earlier, too much conscientiousness is associated with OCD disorders. Now, it's important to remember that personality tests will not tell you if you're a good person, they just tell you which traits you have and how they influence your decisions. Number 3 is extroversion. So extroverts are more likely to respond positively to the stimuli in the outside world. They feel more comfortable around lots of people, and whenever lots of things are happening around them. They feel refreshed and energized after they get done talking to a group of people. Introverts, on the other hand, prefer to eliminate outside stimuli and focus inward. They actually feel drained after they talk to a whole bunch of people. You can also find introversion and extroversion on the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator personality quiz, which is something I'll talk about in a later video. Number 4 is agreeableness. People who are more agreeable are more willing to take action in order to make peace with others. Agreeable people are also more likely to be patient with others. Now, these type of people might sacrifice what they actually want just for the sake of others, or maybe to let go of angry feelings quicker. Researchers have put competitiveness on the other side of the scale here, so you're either agreeable or you're competitive. Now, this trait still has some debate in the personality psychology world because, honestly, not very many people want to be called disagreeable. This is why they have renamed it competitive. And lastly is number 5, neuroticism. Now, this is the final big 5 trait, and it's also known as emotionality by other personality theorists. People who score high on neuroticism are more likely to experience heightened feelings of anxiety, paranoia, depression, or aggression. Now, these feelings may have a large impact on the way that a person behaves or the way that they perceive the world around them. Now, just like the N in the PIN model that I talked about earlier, people high in neuroticism usually have higher highs and they also have lower lows.